Yo, Raptor listeners, Raptor watchers. I am your host, Adon Moss. This is the wrap up. I'm joined by my boys, Oren Weisfeld and Sahal Abdi. My boys, how you doing? Sahal, long time no see.
You
What's
guys,
Life updates, Sahal?
Yeah, give it to us straight.
Yeah, one of my siblings is getting married soon, so I've been preparing for that. But because I'm an arrogant, piece of S, what I will say is I went on a trip to California, first time on the West Coast. Haven't been to the States since I was a kid. Was there for 10 days, visiting a friend. Amazing. California's a simulation, man. Same weather every single day for 10 days. No wind until like midday, which is like perfect because like you're at the beach midday. But yeah, it just makes Toronto just look like a bipolar, very bipolar city. So, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
LA has its foibles, whatever.
Yeah, man.
It's
San Diego was
all
great.
hunky-dory. Huh?
San Diego was great.
San Diego's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oren, what's new with you? Nothing.
You sound like Kawhi Leonard leaving us for San Diego. What's new with me? Yeah, not a whole lot. The weather in Toronto is not a simulation. Today it rained all day. I don't think it called for that as far as I knew. I had some big plans that got ruined playing basketball alone.
The weather people lobby, man. That one day we have to take that down. I don't know how they still get paid.
I 100% agree. That's the thing. I don't check it so that when it rains, I'm like, oh, interesting.
Yeah, you're not disappointed.
But yeah,
not surprised.
I mean, you, the fan, has heard from me and Aiden. But today we got an exciting new thing we're gonna try out.
Yeah, we're getting creative because we're pining for basketball and any incarnation of it. And
no. Actually, I have something to say. Speaking of pining for basketball, the Rico Hines runs analysis has gone absolutely out of hand this summer.
I'm starting to hate NBA Twitter during the offseason, honestly.
Rico has no idea what he's done with these videos because people are like, oh, Coloco's starting. I guess he might be in the starting lineup. Oh my God, did you see the shots that Gary Trent Jr. make? Meanwhile, we're only seeing the highlights, like not the misses. And it's like, guys, can we stop analyzing this footage?
I want to know now if Jake Layman's coming to training camp because he was spotted with a Raptors t-shirt.
Yeah, it seems like everybody has a Raptors t-shirt on.
Yeah, Jalen Harris has a Raptors t-shirt there.
Yeah.
It's like maybe Jalen Harris just only has that's like his only NBA gear. So that's what he's wearing.
Or it's in Rico Hines' contract now that he's an employee of the Toronto Raptors. He's got
Earl Watson and Rico Hines are just walking into the gym and just shirts. Everybody's getting shirts.
Whatever, man.
Everybody's getting shirts.
Paul George said it himself. He's like, if the Raptors don't come out hot at the beginning of the season, he's going to be shocked because of these Rico Hines runs. So
legit. Like the Rico Hines footage, I've started to only like the beginning and the end. Like I like Rico being like, respect the gym, respect the tradition every time. And then the end when the vets and Earl Watson talks, like that's the best part of the videos to me. It's just the talking.
Mm-hmm. We should actually start our pods just like telling each other we love you, we respect each other.
Respect the platform.
I love you, listeners. Yeah.
You too. Okay. Respect you, team. Yeah.
You can tell we can just talk forever about anything. And we kind of are, but this round's a little bit different. We're not doing Toronto Raptor material. What we are doing in the coming day today and the coming days is we're going to do a draft of the NBA awards that are handed out. So we're going to do MVP today. We're going to do Rookie of the Year, Coach of the Year, blah, blah, Sixth Man of the Year, Most Improved Player, and I think that's it.
Sixth Man of the Year.
Yeah, I got that.
Coach of the Year.
So I'm going to pop the rules up here. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to have a snake draft, 5 rounds. The points will be awarded at the end of the year, obviously, when the votes are given, and the top 5 vote getters will give us points. So, for example, last year, Jokic was first. So if I had chosen Nikola Jokic in this draft, I will get 5 points. The one catch is and we will show you that there are odds out there for the players and the chances of them winning the award. If, for example, Marcus Smart wins the Defensive Player of the Year, he was greater than 2,000 odds. So he got a multiplier of 2. So he got first place. He would have gotten 10 points. I would have gotten 10 points having chosen Marcus Smart instead of 5. So I know that sounds a little bit confusing and maybe it's irrelevant to you, but that's how we're going to do this so that there's competition. And at the end of the year, we can say, we had greater NBA acumen than our peers. And perhaps if you're interested in putting some money down on any of these choices, you can keep an eye out for these greater than 2,000 odds because clearly it's worth your investment potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Just to clarify a couple of things, because when you said the Marcus Smart thing to me, I was confused. He's talking about for the Defensive Player of the Year award, he would have gotten 10 points.
Because he was outside the traditional odds.
And for people who aren't very familiar with like betting and Vegas lines, we're talking about like whatever Vegas has their odds to win the award, that's what we are going off. So we'll show you on the screen, we'll show you who has what odds, so you'll know exactly who we're picking. But okay.
Yeah. So you'll know when we come back to this months later, Oren's not lying about tallying up his points and doing all that good stuff.
Yeah. I've never lied in my life, so you can also just trust my word.
Same.
And it's worth listening because I think there's some insight as to like who are up and coming players, who do we think is going to kind of pop, like the Jordan Pooles of the world.
And also which teams are going to be good because MVP relies so much on wins,
for sure,
stuff like that. All right, so I'm going to take my screen and I'm going to randomize the draft order. We don't know who's drafting. Oh no, if I do this. Okay, there's going to be 8 teams, but we're just going to do whatever ours rank as.
You can change.
Right, here we go. No, here we go. Aiden is first, Sahal, and then Oren. Okay. Yeah. Aiden.
Oren's
Sahal,
happy
Oren.
right now.
Aiden's on the clock.
I'm not really
because he wants that snake back to back.
If my guy gets me, I'll be happy, but we'll see. I'm kind of skeptical, and I'll be upset when you take him, and I won't forgive.
Okay.
So let's pull up. Wait. Hold up.
Overall pick.
Here we go.
Adon Moss is going with
Aiden. Come on,
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Okay,
that's my guy. All right,
and that's fair.
I am so very close to taking Joel Embiid, but A, health, and B, Giannis is a sociopathic serial killer NBA basketball player. He just walked onto the court against Belgium and had 60 points, 20 rebounds.
No, you got. That was fake.
I did too, man. And I retweeted the fake tweet, and he was like perfect from the free throw. I think what was he, Oren? Perfect from 3-2 in that tweet. Like
But the best part is that everyone believed it, which just goes
why
to
would you
show
make
what
that
he's
up?
capable of.
But regardless, exactly, it shows that he's capable. And the thing is he always has a chip on his shoulder, no matter what. And despite what Gilbert Arenas will tell you, he is improving on his game. He is getting better. And I think the way they lost last year, it fuels his fire even more. So I feel very comfortable with Giannis walking onto that floor and proving himself as the best player in the NBA.
Yeah, Gilbert Arenas has a PhD from Ball Don't Stop University, where he just talks about the purity of the game and all that good stuff. So I can kind of see why.
He did a minor in old man bullshit.
Yeah. Giannis is a good pick.
And Giannis doesn't get injured. That's an important thing too.
Yeah. And the fact that myself and Aiden shared that tweet goes to show that we believed that Giannis, 62 points, 20 rebounds, 12 assists, 10 blocks. I think it was something crazy like that. So, we got, but Giannis is a great pick. I mean, I probably would have went one with him too. And I'm up next with the
best
second
player in the world
pick.
Giannis, best
player.
player.
He is. Yeah, and I mean, if you don't think he is at this point, okay.
You
finish off the sentence, Oren.
You don't know.
You don't know Jack.
Mythology. Yeah.
Second overall pick. I'm not going to hold you guys up too much. I have a little list here that I've been crafting over the last couple of days.
Oh man,
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with a chalk pick. This is chalk. This is easy, and I'm telling you guys, it's gonna get wacky a bit later because I want that double multiplier with the 2,000 odds thing. But I'm gonna go Luka Doncic. I just think Luka Doncic is the there's a reason he's top of the charts right now for that odds list you guys see. Or really any odds. If you search up NBA MVP odds, you look at the first 5 websites, they're gonna have Luka first. Luka is, I mean, you don't have to get into it. He is one of the most special players I think I've ever seen in my life. I've ever watched. Plays for Slovenia. Absolutely, just I get it. Goran Dragic and all those guys are there. This isn't a team that doesn't have any national representation in the NBA. But Doncic has taken that program to a whole nother level, and then what he's doing for Dallas is just insane. Feels like every year he's taking that team deeper into the playoffs. I'm gonna go Luka, man. I think if there's one guy I'm probably gonna bank on to win MVP. And it's not Giannis. I think it just has to be Luka Doncic. So I'm going to go Luka with the second pick.
I can't believe I'm saying Vlatko Kankar 2 podcasts in a row, but you didn't shout out Kankar for the Slovenian national team, man.
There's a lot of good players on that team, but Luka is just, I mean, when he puts that jersey on, it's a totally different ballgame.
My only worry with Luka is if the Mavs get enough wins, right?
Yes.
Because you kind of have to be like a top 3 seed. And like, do you think the Mavs are gonna be that
But
good?
can I respond with? Would you be shocked if it was a Russell Westbrook situation where, let's say, they finish 5th seed or 6th seed, or a Jokic situation, 5th or 6th seed, but Luka, just what he did for that team. I mean, Jalen Brunson's gone now; he's on the Knicks, right? So,
that's true.
I don't.
That team, that's a big piece they're missing, but I think he can still win despite that. I think he's that good. Is my point.
The only other thing I'll say, which is I don't know if it's relevant or not, but Doncic is 23, and there's been one dude who's been younger than 24 that has won in the past, like I would say, like 30 years, and that was Derrick Rose when he was 22. So it kind of seems like the narratives lean towards guys who have kind of earned their stripes a little bit more than someone like Doncic. I don't know if it's necessarily the coincidental or correlative, but he does seem like he might still be 1 year early to like blow onto the scene and become the MVP.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay.
I think the media is ready to give him his award. He's been the runner. He's been the odds favorite 2 years in a row now.
Yeah.
And I think that stat that you gave just goes to show that like most 23-year-olds aren't this good, but he is this good.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't buy into that, like the narrative thing. Narrative matter for this award for sure. I just don't think it matters for him. The only thing I worry about is the team success.
Skinny Luka.
All right. Am I ready to go?
Yeah. Are you?
Okay.
You tell
my
us.
First pick is going to be, I'm writing these down just so everyone knows why I'm being rude. Steph Curry, first pick.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, I go twice, so it doesn't really matter.
True.
But yeah, I do like him more than who I'm going to take more next. I mean, we talked about this on the over-under pod. I just think the Warriors, I just think Steph is primed for an MVP year. I think the Warriors are going to be really good, and he's obviously the engine that makes that team go, especially now with like Clay and Draymond.
Clay's back. Yeah.
Yeah, but those guys are a little bit less than they used to be. So Steph has to take even bigger role in the offense. And the way he's worked on his body to where he can now like play on both sides of the ball for a full season in the playoffs is just makes me pretty confident that he'll be ready to roll.
Steph is a great pick. Steph is a really good pick. Jordan Poole, all those guys are still there, but I mean, if you're not taking Steph with one of those back-to-back, that's my next pick. So Steph is a good pick because I say it's a good pick. How about that?
I'm just he is due another one, I think, but I'm just worried about age. And we talked about this with the over-unders with Golden State. Like they are another team with the eye on the prize, and they're just gonna they're going to monitor everything with those 3 guys as far as minutes played and back-to-backs and all that kind of stuff. And so that would be my only hesitation with Curry is either a minor injury where they're like overly careful, or that they just they limit his minutes just generally. But I mean, you can't go wrong with the choice.
Yeah. Yeah,
guard depth is going to be a little better for the Warriors. Moses Moody, I think, is going to step in and be pretty good for them this year.
Dante DiVincenzo.
Yeah, they got DiVincenzo there now. And then obviously you have Jordan Poole. So
yeah,
that team's deep.
it's
that
true. They're going to take some shots away from Steph. But ultimately, if the Warriors win whatever 55, 60 games, everyone knows why they're winning.
Mm-hmm.
Even if other guys are scoring, media members will be like, yeah, but they're scoring because Steph creates that gravity, and like that's a big part of Steph. Second pick here. This one is hard for me. There's a lot of good options.
Because now you're thinking about the multiplier, right?
There's a lot of good. No, not quite.
Not yet? Okay.
If Kawhi and LeBron were plus 2,000, I would.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I'm not thinking about it yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take.
I ought to know.
I'll take Embiid. Embiid's
that's a no-brainer to me.
He's not gonna win it, but he's probably gonna finish like top 3.
I almost took him first overall. I thought he's the obvious next choice.
Yeah. I guess my thing is A, injury scary. I'm scared of him getting injured. And B, I just think this version of the Sixers is less reliant on him than ever, which is good for them. But it also means like Maxey and Harden and Melton and these guys, I think they actually have a decent backup center. Like, I just think Embiid's going to be less crucial to their success.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of when they had Tobias, Jimmy Butler, and all those guys there, where it didn't feel like the entire team was built around whether or not Joel Embiid succeeded. That's a good pick, though. Joel Embiid's a good pick.
I disagree because back then, Jimmy Butler was arguably as good, and Ben Simmons was still in the mix as like, is this Ben's team or is this Joel's team? Joel's team. And like now it's very clearly Joel's team. Harden isn't at his peak powers anymore. Maxey's only, rising into it. Harris is what he is. Like if Philly wins, 57 games or something and they finish atop the East, I don't think it's like a Phoenix situation where Booker and CP3 like split the difference. I think this is very clearly Embiid's award to win. So I think there's a very clear picture for Embiid to take this. Plus he's like whined and moaned all about not winning, and so like media is going to be a little bit more sensitive to it.
He was second 2 years in a row, right? Second in voting. Yeah. So now this brings me to my pick because
can I just say on Embiid? I just want to say on Embiid, I don't think he's gonna win it, honestly. I think he's gonna come in like the top 5. I think he could come in the top 5, but I don't think he's gonna win. Because I don't think the Sixers like have a reasonable path to being the like 1 seed. And B,
but I don't like this, Oren. I don't like this.
But even if they're good,
you're taking Embiid with your pick, but then you're also saying you don't think he's gonna win. So you win either way now. Now you've covered your tracks. I don't. Well,
I think
it's
I'll
a
get
coward's way out.
I think I'll get some points, but not the full 5 points.
The full 5, yeah.
Yeah, just because like I think like Luka's a good example. He's so the whole Mavs team is centered around Luka, and I don't think it'll be that way as much for Embiid this season as it has been in the past. So,
but you could say that about Giannis.
In terms of what centered around, I think Luka. The Mavs are centered around Luka more than any.
Giannis and Embiid have like similar kind of roles, I think, where they have 2 very good players around them, but it's their team at both ends.
Clear,
but Giannis is just better,
and that's the other thing is that Doncic is not a good defender. Embiid is arguably top 3, as is Giannis. So I think that also boosts his stock.
Yeah. All right, Sahal, it's all you.
Sahal, you
all I wanted to say.
So Embiid, Oren took Embiid, and then that brought me to a thought: where do I go to the man who just won back-to-back MVPs? But I believe wholeheartedly, entirely, completely in MVP voting fatigue. And I don't think there's a chance Jokic could win 3 times in a row. I think Jokic will have an MVP level season, but I don't think he wins 3 times in a row. So my pick, for me at least, is clear. and I'm gonna go with the man who I think is gonna make a massive comeback this year, come back from injury. I'm gonna go Kawhi Leonard with my second pick. So I'm gonna go Kawhi's gonna come back. Clippers are going to be really good again because Paul George is fully healthy. Kawhi's fully healthy. And the team around them's pretty good. I mean, they added John Wall. I know a lot of people have given up completely on John Wall, but his role isn't to be the savior, isn't to be the guy. He's going to be in a relatively minimized role. And then you have pretty good players around that, Zubac and all those guys. So Reggie Jackson. I don't know if they re-signed Batum, but Batum's been pretty key for them these last few years. Yeah, so I'm going to go Kawhi, and I'm really happy with this pick because honestly, Oren, I was praying you weren't going to take Kawhi because I did not want to be the guy who took Embiid. Even though, like you said, Embiid almost guarantees you points from our point system in that top 5. But I'm going to go Kawhi.
So you're going for glory here.
I think Kawhi, when he's fully healthy, man, he's one of the best players on the planet. Like,
but
on any given day, you could say he's top 3 in the world. So.
But he's not going to play more than 54 games.
But see, that's the thing. If it's the Clippers, so like I don't trust them at all in terms of how they handle Kawhi. If it's the Raptors, I think twice about that. It's the Clippers.
I think Kawhi dictates his terms.
So do I.
I think Kawhi dictates his terms. Like, as much as Raptors were smart for the load management thing, I think at least since then, Kawhi has dictated how he wants to rest and stuff like that. But honestly, I don't think you need to play more than 50 games to win the MVP. Just because nobody plays 80 games anymore. None of these superstars are going to play 80 games. So if you're that good in 50 games and nobody has like a season that is obviously like better than that, you can totally win it like that.
He was in the MVP conversation the year he left Toronto, and I think statistically that might have been his best year. I think he was at like 27, shooting almost 50% from the field, 38% from 3, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and a couple steals. Like, this guy had an MVP level season, but guess what? He played 57 games. I personally think if he's in that range, 57, 62, 65, I think that's enough. If, again, going back to Oren's point, if the Clippers have a very, very good season. And I think if they stay healthy, to me, I think that's going to be a top 3 team in the West, top 4 team in the West. So,
yeah, I think the better they do, the worse Kawhi's odds are, because it's kind of that, and this may be a good segue into my pick if we're done, but like, I think it's that sweet spot of you want to be really good because like the MVP typically is at the top of the conference, but also you want to be not so good that you can just rest like your superstar who just came back from an ACL injury.
It's like a competitive first, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like Jokic last year is a good example. Without Jokic, that team's literally going nowhere, and so they had to play him 38 minutes a game or whatever it was, and he just like banked so many stats. I also am looking for guys who are coming back to kill, and I don't think Kawhi ever comes back to kill. Kawhi's just a robot. He just like has his purpose, and that's to win and whatever. Kevin Durant is coming back to kill. Like, there has been so much negativity thrown his way.
Wait, do you think he's heard the noise?
I don't know. I think he's only on he's not on any social medias to possibly.
I feel like that hashtag blame KD thing is going to be a thing he does all year long. I'm calling it out. You're going to see it all season.
They hit the sweet spot. They have I think a very good team, not a great team. And if Durant doesn't play, they could potentially fall into a losing streak that puts them in a position heading into the playoffs they definitely don't want to be in. So I don't think they're going to overplay KD like they did last year, but I do think they're going to need him, and he's going to come back with a vengeance to kind of prove that this is his team. He isn't washed. And also he's just mad at everybody. So I'm taking Kevin Durant. Yeah. And then I'm going to take Jokic because kind of like Oren's pick with Embiid, like I don't think Jokic is going to win 3 in a row. He's
going to get your points. He's getting you points.
He's going to get me points. And and on one hand, Porter Jr. and Murray coming back, will affect his stats. On the other hand, they're going to win more games. And he has a way better team around him, not even including those guys. And he's at the peak of his powers. I think Jokic is going to have another awesome year, and I'm happy to take him with my third pick.
Okay, we're back to me. So you guys did
Yeah, hold on. Let's talk about that. I mean, with Jokic, I think
yeah.
I thought about him. It's a good pick, but yeah, I don't think he'll finish first just because like they're trying to acclimate two guys, all-stars who are injured back in the lineup, and those guys are going to take a lot of shots away from Jokic.
Can I cut you off really quick, Oren? Michael
Yeah.
Porter Jr. in those Rico Hines runs I was watching. He did the most Michael Porter Jr. thing ever. So he had Steph Curry on his team. Steph Curry
and Trae Young
and Trae Young, and he was wide open top of the arc. Michael Porter Jr. did a triple threat jab step, dribbled left. I think it was like a one dribble, and he pulled up for mid range. And Steph is literally just standing there like that, just waiting for the ball. Did not get the ball. Again, he made it, right? Because everything that makes those Rico Hines runs on YouTube is a highlight, right? So he made the shot, but it was just such a Michael Porter Jr. thing. So
if Michael Porter Jr. comes back and he averages 18 and 7, are you trading him at the deadline?
No. Why would they trade him?
I don't know.
Perfectly around Jokic.
He does in theory. I just wonder like about his lack of defense, to Sahal's point, his inability to create for others, et cetera, et cetera. He's going to have to, I don't know.
I mean, maybe if you're getting like an all-star veteran.
Injury prone.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
if you're getting like
there's not a lot of
player better than him.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone that can help you now.
Well, that'd be the idea. Him
and
in like a pick or something for, I don't know.
Because as much as people rag on MPJ for his lack of defense, I guess some people say lack of basketball IQ, but I mean, I personally think if you're a good basketball player, then you have to have high IQ. But
just different vision.
Yeah, exactly. But I can see a trade happening if again they get a player that's a higher caliber, and I think a lot of teams in the league would be interested in a Michael Porter Jr. as one of the core guys that they can build up. I personally sometimes look at Michael Porter Jr. and I go, if this guy is the second option on the team, forget first option, he can drop 24 a game. Like this is a guy who's just a bona fide, like he was born to score the ball. So, but again, yeah, like Oren said, comes down to health. Like you said, Adon, for Michael Porter Jr. It comes down to whether or not he can facilitate like the Nuggets maybe want him to or want him to grow into.
Yeah, I think 1 year picks was really risky in KD because that team could be really bad or they could be really good and he could win MVP. And then the Jokic pick is just like he's gonna finish top 5, but he's probably not gonna win.
Yeah. Are you guys ready? It's my selection, right? I believe.
Yep.
So the last pick was Jokic from Adon. This is where it gets a little tough. So I as much as I want to follow my list, now I think I'm looking at the multiplier a little bit. But you know what? I'm gonna wait because this would be my third pick, and then I got 2 more after this. So I'll leave my next 2 as like the wild cards, I guess you could call them. But I think this is a guy for me that I can see him being top 5. I can't guarantee he'll get me points in our point system. But I'm going to go with the Boston Celtics star forward, Jason Tatum. A lot of it comes down to me thinking that Boston's going to be the best team in the Eastern Conference this upcoming season. So if they're the 1 seed, or even honestly if they're the 2 seed, and Jason Tatum, who clearly is the best player on that team, if he plays like the best player on that team, he should be in the conversation. So I'm going to go Jason Tatum. I loved what he did this entire season through the playoff run. Made some huge strides, struggled a little bit in the finals, but I mean, it was his first time there, so it's a shrug for me. But I'm going to go Jason Tatum. I can see him getting into maybe 4th in MVP voting, maybe 3rd. Yeah. Of like a Paul George-esque season. He was with OKC. We'll see.
Yeah, I agree with that thinking. I think he could get some votes. I just don't think he could win it because I think
me too.
Voters will ultimately ask themselves, is this guy the best player in the league? And they're going to say no.
Mm-hmm.
So
that being said, like the trouble, like the thing with the MVP is really we're talking about 4 to 5 guys, and so then you've got to look at, well, who could suddenly make this big leap. And Tatum is one of those guys, more so than really anybody else looking from the outside in. So,
but
I
it's
think it makes
always
sense
more
in
than
that
4 to 5 guys because one of those guys is going to get injured. One of those guys is going to have their team not succeed as much as normal. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but it's never anybody who really comes out of like the woodwork.
to win it or to get votes.
I
'Cause
guess
get
to win
votes,
it,
it is.
to win it.
Yeah, like Ja got votes last year. DeMar got votes. You know, like nobody would have expected that ahead of the season.
That's true.
Okay, I'm going old here. I got my boy LeBron James. LeBron James. Look, I don't have a lot of faith in the Lakers, to be honest with you, but there is a world in which the Lakers are top 4, top 5, and LeBron is just like doing this same thing that he's done every year. And this is a narrative pick. Like, we know how much the media caps for LeBron, and if LeBron is having a good season, and the Lakers are winning because nobody expects the Lakers to win. It like narrative is all about expectations. So like Jason Tatum, they expect him to win, but nobody expects the Lakers to win. So if they do, I think LeBron is going to get a ton of love, and I think he's going to like the last couple seasons. He's gone hard. He's played a lot of minutes. He's played like every game he can.
This is going to sound really harsh, Oren. This is going to sound really harsh for me. And I'm sorry in advance to all the Westbrook stands out there. But if you switch Westbrook for Kyrie right now on the Lakers, I probably would have taken LeBron by now. Just because when you think of LeBron, like you said, it's he's going to have that MVP level season. It's just about, is he going to finish 8th seed, 9th seed, 5th seed? Like, you don't know, right? So, but he's LeBron, so that's never a bad pick.
Pat Bev didn't do it for you?
Pat Bev, love him. And I'm in the minority. And I think I've said this before on Wrap Up. I'm in the massive minority or the minor minority of people who actually admire Patrick Beverley. I know at times he can come off as a guy who, I don't know, like he gets accused of everything, of just injuring people and this and that. But I love dogs. I just do. So I'm happy LeBron gets to play with one in Patrick Beverley.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, but I think the Lakers will make more trades. Like LeBron signed that extension.
What are you trying to say?
What?
I think
the team's just going to improve, and so he's going to have a better chance of winning games. I don't think it'll be Kyrie, but I think like they're going to trade their future picks. They're going to get better. I don't know if Westbrook's out of there, but I would probably bet on it, honestly.
Buddy Hield? I've been hearing a lot of Buddy
Hield. Mike Conley makes sense there.
Miles Turner?
Yeah, could be like Buddy Hield and Miles Turner trade. Yeah, I mean, they'll find a way to improve. They're all in, and I could see LeBron having a big year.
Yeah.
Next pick, I mean, at this point, I'm going into the bonus.
Here we go. Let's do it. I've been waiting for.
Ja is the only guy remaining who's not in the bonus, but I'm not going to pick him. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, this is a mishmash. Like, this is tough. I'm going to go with...
Don't do it.
I'm going to go with Trae Young.
Okay, that's fine. I'm okay with you doing that.
Honestly, I had someone else in mind until like a minute ago, and then I saw Trae Young, and I said I kind of like that more. But yeah, I mean, similar argument. Atlanta is a surprise top 4 seed, and Trae is just he's gotten better every year, and so there's no reason to think like, and the team completely revolves around him, similar to like a Luka. So if they can figure out the team success with the Trae success, if they can merge that this year, then he could win.
Yeah, maybe. That's what it comes down to for Atlanta. Just can they win, which is really weird considering all the talent they have. But
I should be putting multipliers. Okay,
yeah,
is Trae the first multiplier?
Yeah, he is.
You guys are pansies.
No, you're what that was pick 4 for you.
Okay,
it's coming. It's coming.
Okay,
so you have one more, Oren?
I'll just say that like I don't think a guy like Trae Young can ever win the MVP.
Why?
He just like he's too minuscule.
If he wins the MVP, Aiden, is he the worst defender as an MVP ever in the history of the league.
Yeah, and I think people would maybe suggest Steve Nash is like the other guy, but Steve Nash's impact on the game overall, I think, was greater than Trae Young's, both in like as like
But Steph won MVP before he became a good defender.
he wasn't a terrible defender. Like
He was
wasn't
pretty bad back then.
He was
was
bad, Oren, but there's levels, man. Like I see the stat come up of Trae Young, every advanced stat saying he's the worst defender in the league.
Okay,
like,
but if
every
they
week.
win a lot of games, nobody cares if Trae Young is bad.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. But do you
No,
believe
but there
it,
have
though?
been guys like DeMar who, have like these insane offensive seasons, but then I mean, and part of it is the Bulls fell off, but like they're hamstrung by the fact that they have zero defensive impact.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, we're getting into the weeds here. I don't know what to tell you.
I know. And it's going to be ironic probably with
If
the guy I
Trae
choose,
shoots like 44% from 3, and has like a historical shooting season and they win a lot of games, I just don't think the defense will matter in the eyes of voters that much.
Yeah.
Who guys do you remember offhand did Atlanta add this year? Because I know they lost Kevin. I always mess up his name.
Kevin Herter, yeah.
I always say Kyle Herter. I don't know why.
I said Kevon Herter last time.
They didn't add like anyone of substance, did they?
DeJounte Murray, man.
Oh, DeJounte Murray.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I totally forgot about that when I made my pick. Whew, that's
DeJounte
bad.
Murray, baby.
But that could be in his favor, right? Like that.
You're right. Defensively, it could, but offensively, the ball won't be in his hands as much. So honestly, I forgot about that.
All right,
Too
Sahal,
late.
you're up,
It's all
man.
you,
Okay.
Sahal.
Oh man, okay, so I'm definitely doing a multiplier here. Let me look at my list just for reference.
You got Luka, Kawhi, and Tatum so far. Aiden has Giannis, KD, and Jokic, and I have Steph, Embiid, Braun, and Trae.
Okay. Oh man. Okay. This is where it gets crazy. Are you guys ready? Okay, I need you to sit up. Okay, so
I know who
you're
you're
ready, man.
I know who you're taking.
I'm gonna go Pascal Siakam.
I knew you were taking him. I swear to God, I knew it.
I'm gonna go Pascal Siakam as my fourth selection, and he's if you guys can see on the screen, he's a plus 10,000 odd player.
He's so far down the list, he's not even on the screen.
Yeah, so Pascal Siakam's there. And I'm going to go Pascal. I think Raptors, if everything goes right and they stay healthy, they will be a top four-ish team in the league. I think Raptors can have that like crazy season where they just end up as a 2 seed. It's like, whoa, what just happened? If everything goes right. So, and then Pascal, to me, best player on the team. I think it really hurts to me that NBA fans, I know obviously the majority of our base watching Raptors Republic are Raptors fans, but it really irks me, irritates me, and annoys me. Maybe hurt is a little too much, but that Pascal Siakam just isn't respected like he should be in NBA circles. Like, this is a guy who started playing basketball at 16. Like, I don't want to get into the whole story, but he shouldn't be this good, this fast. He just shouldn't, right? And he's coming off of an All-NBA selection. These Rico Hines runs, he just looks like classic Pascal, unguardable. And the fact that, by the way, we were talking about Patrick Beverley earlier, he mentioned Pascal Siakam's name. He looked at everybody in that group and he said, not everybody here is a Pascal Siakam. So, I mean, if he has the respect of his peers like that, I think he deserves that from fans as well. So I'm going to go Pascal. People can think I'm insane. Honestly, people can think I'm crazy. I'm going Pascal. I mean, we're in multiplier zone. I told you guys it's about to get spicy very soon. There it is. It's about to get spicy right now.
It makes sense because I think Toronto figured out in the latter part of the season that Pascal is the number one option and the centrifugal force of this team moving forward. And so like he's going to have higher volume, higher reps, and he's figured out how to play make, and he's one of the better defenders on the team. Like there's certainly a recipe there for him to be like certainly an all-star, if not in discussion for MVP.
plus 10,000. We might have to change the
Yeah.
rules a bit, guys, because I think the multiplier should be a little bit higher.
Hey
Plus
man, it's
No,
not
I-
our fault that
10,000.
you went that far down the list.
I agree. He was actually going to probably be my next pick, and I think the root is that, like, narrative wise, it makes a lot of sense because whether or not you like it, like, the Raptors are underrated and they're underdogs, and a lot of people don't watch them that much. But if the Raptors do come out hot and win a ton of games and they're a top 3 seed, people are going to tune in and watch, and they're going to see, oh, this Pascal guy has no spacing, and yet the ball is always in his hands, and yet he consistently finds ways to win on both ends. Like, people will just see it the more they watch the Raptors. And so if the Raptors have real team success, I think he could get in that top 5.
How
The
many guys
counter
in
to
the
the-
league, really quick, Aiden, how many guys in the league are there that at their best are elite on both ends of the floor? Like,
Dude,
how
you don't
many?
have to sell
Right?
it to us, but I do think
Yeah.
like A, nobody else pays attention to the Raptors, and B, if the Raptors do get to the second seed, I think it's probably because guys like Precious and Scotty like elevate their game.
Yeah, but that
And it,
doesn't matter, I don't
well, it
think.
could.
In that it could, and even if, like, Scotty is an all-star and Fred is an all-star, though, all these teams that we just mentioned, all like Jokic and Giannis, these guys are playing with all-stars,
That's
right?
true.
It's
It just matters who's the best.
But there's
Honestly,
more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think further down the line, it's like with Milwaukee, there's 3 guys and then it drops off dramatically. With Toronto, it's like you could look at me after Pascal, there's like 5 guys that I could list that could average 20 points or
Yeah, I
multiple of
guess.
them, you know? So it's like
Mhm.
it's a little bit more difficult,
But you
especially
could
with
also
names.
say there's no one as good as Drew Holiday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the
Yeah, I
second
mean,
best player
On the
And-
is
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
step under.
And this is a quintessential MVP like philosophical debate, right? It's like, is it the guy who has nobody on his team and they're only a 500 win team, but if without that guy they would be
Yeah.
garbage, or is it the guy who has 2 semi all-stars by him? Like that's always, that argument has always gone both directions, and it is a problem with, I know not that Bill Simmons is our favorite guy, but he really talks about like valuable player maybe being the wrong term.
Yeah. Well, it's intentionally vague, for sure. I
Mhm.
think it just depends on whatever out of those 2 things is more impressive that year. Because you don't always get a Jokic
Yeah.
carrying a top 5 seed with, like, players you
Right.
literally don't know.
I still sit there to this day and think about how the hell Jokic did that last season. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah.
not common.
Especially
Yeah.
with his style of play. Yeah. Okay.
Fat.
Good pick, Sahal. Homer pick. I respect
Thanks,
it.
man. Got to
Yeah,
do it
okay, Aiden.
for the crowd.
Okay. My problem is I like cheering for guys that I want to win. And so like I don't really love the Phoenix Suns. Devin Booker just
you're-
kind of rubs me the wrong way, so I'm not going to choose him. Oren. I'm
Okay.
not
but-
taking Devin Booker.
Okay, so who are you picking?
I am taking Damian Lillard because I think again, this is another guy who is due his respect. I like this Portland team, I think, more than a lot of other
They're going to be better, man.
people do, but I think they are going to be good.
Mhm.
And if Dame, the question is his health, I know, but at 4,000 odds, plus 4,000 odds, I like that. I think like Dame, like I was saying earlier with Trey, Dame's another guy who's not exactly known for his defense, but he has the persona and he has the rep across the league as like a top dog. And I think that goes a long way. So if Portland does suddenly become the 4 seed out of nowhere, they're going to look right at Dame and attribute it to him. So that's my one pick. And then my big swing for the fences is Anthony Edwards, because if Minnesota suddenly vaults as well, it's not going to be because of Cat. We know what Cat is as a player and what he's done. And it's definitely not going to be just because of Gobert's defense. It's going to be because Ant is suddenly like a superstar, kind of like Ja became last year. And I think just like Oren said, with Ja getting a couple of votes his way, I could see Ant with that smile and the pizzazz of his game getting some votes thrown his way too.
I'm angry. You took my pick, but I
Was it Ant
love
or Dame?
Anthony Edwards, man.
Yeah.
I love Anthony Edwards so
My
much.
rebuttal to Ant is actually what I just argued the opposite side of because I'm dumb. But like, there is a certain extent to where talent overshadows your number one option, and I think Rudy, Cat, and what's his name, D'Angelo Russell, all three of them. That is
He's
just
gonna be
so much
gone.
talent to
I
where
think he's gonna
Ant.
be gone, Oren. I
And
don't
that's
think
what's gonna
D'Angelo's
happen.
there.
It's gonna be like that. It's gonna be like for years, Cat has had this team and they've been garbage. And then yes, Gobert arrives, but Ant, like his game vaults to such a level that he just drags this team to a fifth seed. Like that's kind of how I see it happening. D'Angelo Russell has to be the fourth option on a good team if they want to be good. And so like
I
it's
think they could be way better than a fifth seed.
yeah,
But yeah.
and I think if that happens, it's because Ant is I don't know, like a poor version of Kobe Bryant or something.
He's
You
a
know, like
mega
he just
star.
yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair
I
enough.
mean, like I said, Ant would have been my next pick, and that hurts because like this is like the one I was just gonna immediately get off, and I think Anthony Edwards this year is gonna prove he's one of the best shooting guards in the world. I see when I watch that guy, I see immense talent. Like we talk about flashes isn't even the right word. Like last year, we kind of saw the breakout. This year, I think we're going to see like a bona fide. I think this is where his all-star run starts. Is what I'm trying to say. Like this is where you see Anthony Edwards' all-star run just take off. And I'm glad too that they have Gobert. If it works out, I mean, they're going to start winning games. And if you win games and you're in that 3 to 6 seed range in the West, you're probably going to have 2 all-stars. So
He
or
has
3 to
the
5 seed.
electricity of a Ja Morant, but he has
Mhm.
the size and the shooting range to be that much better.
Does he remind you guys? And I don't mean this disrespectfully because I think this guy's the 3rd best shooting guard of all time. But does he remind you guys a little bit of D Wade in terms of electricity? Maybe not as defensively stout, but just can almost do everything. I
Yeah,
feel like
he's not as shifty and like slashery as Dwayne Wade was. Like Dwayne Wade didn't really like Dwayne Wade's game early on was at the rim all the time.
Mhm.
And the game is different that Ant doesn't play
But that's what I'm saying.
exactly
I
like
feel like
that.
if Dwayne Wade came up in this era, I think it would
Maybe.
be a lot. I don't know. I see similar traits. Not exactly the same player, but I see similar traits. And I think Anthony Edwards should be aiming for that type of ceiling. One of the best shooting guards to ever play. I think honestly, if things go right, he could possibly get there. I have a
It's
lot of belief in Anthony Edwards.
maybe like T-Mac a better comparison, or
Yeah,
maybe
I
even
like his.
Vince. I don't know.
Oops. Sorry.
I like his pull up game. T Mac has one of the best pull up games of all time, and I like Anthony Edwards. He's growing there a lot. So the fact
He's
that
growing
he's
defensively
even
too.
yeah he is. The fact that he's
Defensively,
even
I think he'll have a
mentioned.
big year. He'll get a lot of steals because he got Rudy backing him up now. He'll be
Yeah.
ultra aggressive. But yeah, go ahead, Sal.
Okay, so
Did you even
I am
pick? You
going
didn't
to
pick.
go. I didn't pick yet because I was so enamored with you selecting Anthony Edwards. I am going to go with. So I took Pascal with my last pick. I feel like this is Oren's pick. I'm gonna go. You know what? Actually, I was gonna say Zion, but I'm gonna go Kyrie. I'm gonna go Kyrie Irving.
Wow.
I like Kyrie
Yeah.
more than Zion. I do.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Kyrie Irving. And that's not to say Zion I don't think is gonna come back and have a great year. I think he will. But I'm gonna go Kyrie Irving because I think, at least I think, and I hope he thinks this way, but I think he has a lot. Like when I say a lot to prove, I'm talking like the world is on his shoulders, and I think Kyrie can deal with that type of pressure on the court. I think he's one of the best.
Probably right now, he doesn't think like you think. So
Yeah. I
sorry.
mean the tweets and all that. But I'm gonna go Kyrie Irving. I think the Nets. Again, now we're in like best case scenario. And that's why you keep hearing me say it. Best case scenario, I think the Nets have a very good year. Kyrie's healthy. Kyrie's healthy. Kevin's healthy. And then all the role players stay relatively healthy. They got Joe Harris back to the Joe Harris we used to know from a couple years ago. Did I just take Joe Harris from you? Is that who you're going to take next, Oren? No.
No, I just realized none of us took Ja.
Yeah.
Well, you still have a pick left.
Yeah, I know. And now it's like, I don't really want to.
Or don't do that, man. You haven't taken any
Sorry.
multiplier picks. Oh no, you took one. But yeah, I'm not gonna stretch it out too long. I'm gonna go Kyrie Irving. A lot of people won't like this, but I think I mean it's my opinion. What do I care? He's one of my favorite players, I think, to ever play the game. I have his jersey, and yeah, I'm gonna go Kyrie Irving. Plus 10,000 odds two times in a row, guys. Beat that. Beat it.
Yeah. Okay, I'm tempted to pick Ja. It would be the reasonable pick, but I'm gonna have fun instead and
Okay,
pick
there
the
we go.
old man, Chris Paul.
Really?
This is what I thought you were doing with the
the poker?
Phoenix thing. Yeah.
Oh.
But no, I think Chris Paul last year was definitely the better player on that team. I think everyone got scared because of how he played at the end of that series. And everyone's like, oh, he all of a sudden got old that same week of the series. It's like, yeah, he did tire out. But look, age at this point in the NBA, we're all trying to figure out when these guys tail off. We don't really know the answers. But if Chris Paul comes back and does what he did last year and Phoenix is another top 3 seed, I could totally see him getting votes, and that's about it. Before I show each of our teams, let's all go ahead and say like one honorable mention. Mine, the guy who I was going to take if I didn't take Chris Paul, was Brandon Ingram.
So was mine.
Yeah, I think the Pelicans are going to be really good, and I
Me
think
too.
Ingram is the leader of that team. Even though Zion's coming back, Zion is a big question mark.
Yeah.
Are you going with a different person, Aiden, or
No.
are you guys agreeing on that
I
one?
will concur.
Copy.
That was going to be my guy.
That's fair. That's an
what I was
amazing
struggling
honorable
with.
mention. Yeah, that's really good because I agree with both of you. I think Pelicans are going to be really good this year. I am going to go with I want to say LaMelo so badly, but it's like realistically, what is he walking into? Like, you know what I mean? It's
Bad team.
that team is just. I am going to go for mine. Let's see. I'm gonna go Paul George. I'm gonna go Paul George.
All right.
Half of the podcast has been me going, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go Paul George. I think similar reason to why I picked Kawhi. I think Clippers are gonna be a top 2-3 seed this year. Wouldn't be surprised if they're number 1. And I think if Paul George has a good enough season, I think he can be in the top 5 conversation, where he's like a bona fide all-star and all that. So I'm gonna go Paul George for my honorable mention. That's what I'm gonna do. 2 Clippers. Raptors fans are gonna hate me.
Just a reminder of the rules here, and then here we'll go team by team. This is Aiden's team. Let's pick the best team. Aiden got a center. He got a great front court.
Wait, best team.
Aiden
has
actually
for.
No, best team.
Wow.
Like Aiden, you actually have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
So
Aiden's team probably beats ours on a court. Yeah.
No, mine's
in a Rico Hines run. Okay, let me see mine. Is it me next?
Sahal's team is Sahal has the wings.
Oh yeah,
team.
I'm winning.
Sahal's modern. He's got the modern NBA team.
You don't need a center because you got to imagine it. This is Rico Hines runs. You don't need a center.
Who said it was Rico Hines? This is the NBA run. And Kyrie's not passing to anyone, so you don't have a point guard either. I hate to break it to you.
Kawhi's only playing in every second Rico Hines run, so it's you had to find a sub.
Oh, I'm not winning. My team's way too small. I got 3 6-footers.
Oh no!
Oof.
But then I do have a center and a wing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Chris Paul pick kind of screwed me. I should have taken a wing.
And your average age is like 34.
That's not what we're doing here, man. Yeah, is my age too old? Well, I got 3 oldies, yeah.
Yeah, you do. You do.
Well, we pray for health.
That was good. That was a really fun exercise. You know what?
Yeah.
The fact that we started with MVP first, I hope everybody enjoyed it. Like Oren and Aiden said, for everybody watching, we are going to have a ton more of these, hopefully, with different awards. Rookie of the Year, Coach of the Year, Most Improved, 6-man, all that good stuff. So I'm looking forward to it. This was a lot of fun. I honestly, now that I think back on it, you know, when I was coming into this, I told you guys before we even started recording that I was just going to go crazy the entire time. You know, start off maybe with Pascal.
Yeah, you were conservative as hell, man.
I had 3 safe picks.
We all have the same
Yeah,
amount of.
I feel like everyone had
multipliers.
3 safe picks and then 2 like picks that they
Yeah.
wanted to see
Yeah,
in that
big swings.
conversation, right?
Yeah.
It'll get spicier because it opens up in a lot of the other drafts. The MVP is a lot more chalky
It's true.
than these other ones. But yeah, if you enjoyed this, stay tuned because we're going to do all the other awards. And then at the end of the year, we're going to compile it and the winner will win like $200 a Subway or something. And I'm gonna,
Subway.
yeah,
Not
No,
Subway.
I hate Subway.
so do
That's
I.
like that's a
Whatever, man. We'll think of something. Thanks for joining us. Like us, subscribe to us, follow us on YouTube and the Twitter zone and wherever else you get your content. We'll catch you later.